Good afternoon, folks. This is Bill from AT Makers. I am happy to join you this lovely Saturday afternoon. Hope you're having a great afternoon, a great weekend. I'm going to talk today about an event going on that we're a part of and that I think you guys might enjoy. I want to kind of explain why our name's on it. I mean, after all, you're part of this community, and it's an interesting thing that's going on. So, PCBWay is a company based in China that makes printed circuit boards, things like these. And they reached out to us after the ATIA Maker Day and asked if we'd be involved in a PCB contest they were having. It started about a week and a half ago. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to add an AT component. They wanted to add an award for the best PCB design that involved assistive technology and was involved in helping people out. Before I said yes, I did a little bit of work with them. I actually pushed some PCBs through their process and made sure that it was something that I was willing to get involved with. They've been great to work with so far. And it's been remarkable. It's been a real learning experience for me, and it's one that I think will help us. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here and what the time frames are and things like that, and what the prizes are, because there are prizes involved here. And we'll talk a little bit more about what the goals are for AT makers on this. Let's put it that way. So the second PCB Design Contest has started. You can find it at PCBWay.com. I'll also add a link directly to the contest here in this post when I'm done. If you slide down here, you'll see that they just started it. And it started June 12th officially, although I think you're not too late because you have until December 12th to get your designs in. They're giving away over $4,000 in cash. They're giving away a bunch of free PCBs. $100 goes a long way, as you'll see, in buying PCBs. Also, these PCBWay beans are basically their rewards program. So by getting a number of beans, you can then get Raspberry Pis or credits and things like that as well. But you'll see that the three categories they have here are the best designs, the most popular designs, and then the AT Maker Prize. Now, that really is not going to be the best designed board. I was very clear with them that I am not qualified to determine who has a well-designed board in terms of the electrical and electronic capabilities. But what I am, I think, qualified to do is to take a look at how effective this would be in the AT space. How is it going to help people? Is it solving a real need? And how well did they interact with the AT community as they built this? So they've asked me to judge this one, and all the other much more qualified people will be judging the others. Now the other judges here, so you'll see here's me. It's kind of funny seeing me there and there. But here's me. But the other people here are great. I mean, Wayne is the current lead developer on KiCad, which is one of the most popular PCB design softwares out there. It's probably the best open source one by far. Mitch Altman's been around for a long time. He did the original TV Be Gone, which he then worked with Lamore Freed from Adafruit on. I mean, all these folks are great, and they are far more qualified than I am to judge how good a PCB is. But it is great that they reached out and recognized that there's a need for their services, PCBWay services in the AT space, and it just is a great place for them to do some outreach. So I'm happy that they reached out to us to do it. I do want to explain to people why I think this is important for us as a community. And there's two different reasons. The first is this is going to invite people who have much better skills, right? Much stronger skills in the technical space to get involved in AT. And I think one of the problems you'll find we have in AT is that it is run by and the focus is very much on caregivers, people who are directly in contact with the AT users, teachers, things like that. And even though we talk about it being assistive technology, the number of true technologists in the space is very low. If you look at the technology in the space, a lot of it is significantly out of date. So one of our goals is to bring better technical talent to bear on the AT space. And I think this will actually help with that. You'll get people who see, wait, what's this $1,000 I could win on AT? What's an AT project? What does that mean? Hopefully, we'll get them to come and ask us, what are some of the problems that you're trying to solve? And they'll come up with, unique and interesting solutions for us. I think you'll find some of that. I'm pretty certain of it. The other is this. The other is that we actually probably need to raise our game. Right? So there are people in the AT makers community that are makers, that are technically competent in terms of soldering, in terms of creating a circuit, in terms of integrating a microcontroller or a Raspberry Pi and things like that. But a lot of us probably cap out at designing our own printed circuit board. I know I did. I did up until a couple months ago. And so I actually I hit a kind of a wall. I think some of you paid attention on the Facebook group might know this. We actually hit a wall with this project right here. So this is Jim Lubins' switch router. And our goal with this was to let Jim switch between multiple devices. So we have in here 4 relays and a current sensor along with a Adafruit Feather. Well, the number of connections here got really crazy. There's dozens of wires. There's over 75 solder points. And what we learned is that while this is a great way of prototyping and figuring out what we want to make, it's not going to be durable and it's not going to be easy to replicate because it's just so easy to screw up. I was very careful and I screwed up horribly. So I think we learned a lesson there. John Jordan and I then went off and started looking at what would it take to make a PCB that solves that same problem. It turned out to be an interesting challenge for us. We had a lot of fun doing it. I will show you kind of where we are on that. So we actually have gotten a number of PCBs back from PCBWay. This is actually what that board will look like when it comes back, this small inner one. We also got the tester for it made so that we can actually test the boards when they come back. We've also along the way found other PCBs that were really worth having. This is a Pi Wing that I designed. It's a lot of fun to design them. That lets us use a Raspberry Pi, in this case a Zero, where we would have used an Adafruit Feather, just because it fits our needs better. So these are things that either couldn't be done without a PCB like this one, or just are so much easier to do with a printed circuit board. And I'll tell you, I actually did some work on thinking through where is the break point? At what point, if you have a relatively complicated board, how many do you need to make in order for it to be worth sending off to a PCB house and getting a custom PCB made? And I thought the answer was going to be 100. If you need 100 of these devices, it's going to be worth sending off, offshore, getting the PCB made, get them back. The answer was really 2. At least on this board, the answer was really, if you're ever going to make more than one of these, it is worth sending this off and getting a PCB made. And that number was shocking to me, but it is really what I found when I went through the process of making that PCB at PCBWay. It cost me 50 cents a board plus $25 or $22 in shipping. So basically it cost me under $30 and I had the board in 4 days. That's kind of crazy, right? Because the amount of work that goes into routing all those wires is way higher, right? And you can now make 2, 4, 5, 10 of these and it reproduces very well and very easily. So I think it's something that our group needs to up its game on. So what I'd like to get out of this contest, I'd like to get some people who want to win the contest to start looking at AT. Hopefully they'll be joining us on the group. I'd love to see some more technical people in the group. I think people like Julie Marzano would love to have more technical people that she can tap into, and most of you would as well. And then for those of us who are on the technical side, I'm going to take some time over the summer to kind of walk you guys through how to make a PCB. And I know that sounds scary, but man, it's not. It's a lot of fun. I may pick up KiCad. I use Eagle right now, so I'm certainly going to start in that. But it is, it's like solving puzzles. It's a lot like that game, the game where you have to make the path without things crossing. It actually is very almost therapeutic. It's a lot of fun to do the routing. And what's really nice is when you get done and you think, okay, it might work, your risk is $30 in 3 days. And then you get the device. And if it works, it's awesome. And if it doesn't, the risk is pretty low. So I'm going to make some videos, some live videos. I'm debating whether I'm going to put them here on Facebook or actually do them on YouTube with just a link here in Facebook. There are pros to each. A lot of the folks in the more technical space aren't on Facebook and don't really like having to log in to get access to things. But this one was for our community, so I wanted to make sure I posted it here first. If you do see me doing live YouTube things, it's mainly for this event. We're not fundamentally making a shift to where we share our stuff. I'm going to take a quick look and see if there are any questions from you guys. And if there aren't, I hope you have a great weekend. Let's take a quick look here, because sometimes I can't see your comments and then everybody gets mad that I'm not answering them. But I don't see any. All right. Well, I hope you're having a great Saturday. If you have any questions, type them down below. I will include the link to this contest. And if you are technical and you're just lurking out there, jump in and offer to design something. I am the judge for this, so if I help you, you're not going to win. I'm going to have to disqualify you. But that doesn't mean you can't ask the community for ideas and feedback. I'd love for you to do that work here so we can all benefit from it. Hope everybody has a great Saturday. See y'all later.